So disruption, all right. So technology, new business models, are changing the way business operate. Now these technology disruptions are now happening what is called as overnight. Overnight disruptions are happening. Something you wake up in the morning and all the thought processes, all the ideas, all the things are there. If you sleep, you are lost, is the kind of new mantra that people are talking. So that is the speed at which things are moving. We are talking about AI, all right? We are talking about ChatGPT, we're talking about so many things, all right? ChatGPT itself is now thinking of revamping it entirely. It is not trying to make incremental changes. The organization which has come up with, how many of you use ChatGPT? Great. For your assignments? Don't tell me the answer. Your professor also here. Okay. So the company that is running ChatGPT is now looking to not make incremental or data changes. They want to revamp it altogether. Right? 4.0 is there. 5.0 is coming out. 5.0, apparently what I read is they want to hold it because they want to totally refurbish it. I mean, it's nothing like you will have. So that is the kind of disruption that we have. And most importantly, we have what is known as the legacy trap. All right? The problem that industries or things have with the legacy trap is they think from where they are standing. All right? The legacy trap, the classic example is the automobile. For 120 years, people were trying to make a better automobile. The question should have been, how do I make a better transport mechanism? You understand the thought process, all right? That is where the change is coming. All right? People are questioning, and I'm sure many of the professors will be appalled by my statement, why engineering colleges? People are even questioning that. There are kids, my friends, whose children are now joining engineering and things like that. One of them, she is homeschooled her child completely, and she says, I have evaluated all the engineering colleges. Son is equivalent to class 8. All right? If he was in school, he'll be in class 8. But she claims he has done second year engineering, studying at home. Now, why should he waste 4 years taking up an engineering? The objective originally was, I should get into a better engineering college. The question should be, how do I better learn engineering? Am I communicating, friends? The change of thought process. All right? So come out of the legacy rather than standing from where you are, try to move differently and question the status quo, just about everything. So this is a quick example of a dollar shave, $1 shaving system. It's a case study. MBA students might be aware of this. He came up with in 2012, and by about 5 years, he sold the company to Unilever. All right, amazing model case. I mean, you may want to take it up. So there is the book that I was talking of in the initial stages. This is something called as the Phoenix approach. Erase everything, rub off everything, and start from the scratch. All right. Mr. Soundararajan was mentioning about people, youngsters have the time and things like that. Kind of beg to disagree with him on just one point. Whatever age I am, let me not reveal the actual number, I'm looking at disruption. Everything that Mr. Soundararajan mentioned, even at my age, I'm doing that. I'm taking risks, right? Quitting my job with 2 children at home, staying unemployed for about 6 months, looking at my options, closing my entrepreneur vertical, moving into training and learning and development, moving into the industry, back and forth. People are there. People are doing that because thankfully my generation, which is or many of your parents' generation, belong to the era where their fathers, right, your grandfathers, They were the one who really worked, and most of them have a good corpus. Most of your parents did not have to work to support their ailing fathers, marry off their sisters, things like that. Most of them, right? But their parents did. My father, when he took up a job, he decided to do, he was a very good scholar, he was a scholar. He was a topper in his district, right? He decided to do diploma in engineering because after 3 years, he'll be able to get a job and help his father. Because engineering in his time was 5 years. So he said, if I do diploma, in 3 years I'll be able to earn and help my father. His elder brother told him, no, do engineering, it is always better. That was the vision there. So thankfully, I too have a corpus and things are changing. You people will be having a legacy of all those corpuses. When I say corpus, financial freedom. You can probably experiment with that. So moving on, all right, the battlefield encounter, all right, quick decisions. If you don't, you die. Okay. All right, so that is the battlefield scenario. 30 minutes are up, is it? Oh, great. So that is the digital transformation. So what I'll quickly do is, I will give you some quick case studies which will interest you. With due apologies to all professors here. Very sorry about this slide. It's only to create interest. I'm not trying to exalt or trying to push anything. So I'm sure out of general knowledge, most of you are aware about alcohol's life, right? General knowledge, right? Older the alcohol, better it is. So if you need an 18 years, when somebody says XYZ 18 years, 18 years back, that must have been distilled and kept in the cask. General knowledge you must know, right? If you don't know also, it's okay, right? And I can understand if you don't want to react also. So now we have artificial intelligence which can create the exact thing. We have the new disruption in 3 months. You can have, and people, the connoisseurs, the people who are paid thousands of dollars to taste and tell what it is, they cannot find the difference. There are now beverages available which are made in 3 months which are equal to that. So I'll quickly show you a video. So I just want to leave a couple of thoughts before I end it up and start the discussion here. So EXO, all right. EXO stands for exponential organization. Now when we look at organizations, we generally think of, many of entrepreneurs are here, this year we must do 30% increase. Minimum 10% year on year, Y on Y increment in the revenues, 30% increase. We are now looking at organizations that do exist, which operate at 10x minimum. If I've done 100, I do 1000. If I do 1000, I do 10,000 the next year. A minimum of 10x increments. People are trying to identify. Nobody wants to wait for 15, 20, 30 years. All right? They're trying to identify organizations. Your Flipkart is a classic example. All right? The startups, the unicorns that are coming in are classic examples where they have increased multifold. So we're looking at exponential organizations. And the governing body, the organizations that actually run them are very limited. In theory, we are talking about $1 million organizations run by totally 3 people. All right? That is the future that we are going in. And like the example of the pepper, all right, you identifying that pepper, you identifying that particular niche where it will work is what it is. The next thought process I want to leave to you is the gold standard of what is known as the dark factories. You all remember, you all know what a factory is, right? A factory is something with a very high building, with a lighting, with a chimney. This is what generally you look at factories, right? Now, all those facilities that are put in a factory are for a singular purpose, that is to ensure comfort for the workers. Now, we are looking at removing workers one by one, one by one, one by one. So why do I need a factory if my machinery, the tallest machinery that I have in my factory, if it is 10 feet, Why do I need a factory building which is 30 feet? Why do I need a factory? That is the disruption, that is the question. Why can't my factory be inside a box? You understand where I'm going with this? This is the future. If we are going to get truly automated, truly transformed, we are going to be going into digital transformation. Sorry. Can you just play that video? I don't know if I can play it from here.
Customer pilots directed almost 3,000 precision strikes last year.
How many of you have seen
We're
this video?
super proud of it. It allows you to separate
it's about
the
8
bad
minutes
guys
long.
from the good.
So I'll probably come
a
down
big
there
deal.
and increase the speed a bit.
But we have something
So this is
much bigger. Your kids probably have one of these, right? Not quite. Hell of a pilot? No. That skill is all AI. It's flying itself. Its processor can react 100 times faster than a human. The stochastic motion is an anti-sniper feature. Just like any mobile device these days, it has cameras and sensors, and just like your phones and social media apps, it does facial recognition. Inside here is 3 grams of shaped explosive. This is how it works. Did you see that? That little bang is enough to penetrate the skull and destroy the contents. They used to say guns don't kill people. People do. Well, people don't.
all right. So that is the other side of technology, right? Drone warfare. You can program your drone. Now, why is this? Probably let's assume that if this technology was available when Osama bin Laden was alive, you program, you give hundreds of photographs of Osama bin Laden, send a drone, it will keep searching till it finds Osama. Only Osama bin Laden is killed, right? But if it is a technology, it can definitely get into the rogue hands. What if they program it to? The world leaders of all the countries. Just 200 drones is enough in each country, because 200 main countries are there. You have destroyed the leadership of the world and you have chaos. Therefore, weapons manufacturers have a field day. All right. Now I want to, one more minute, I'm sorry. I just want you to think about this. All of you please read it. There is a technology that will greatly benefit the human race in your hands. You have it. You can launch it. But you also know that this is singularly be responsible for maximum number of deaths of the human race. Now I have a technology. If I launch it, it is going to be of great advantage. But it is going to singularly be responsible for the maximum number of deaths ever. What would you do? Launch, destroy. Show of hands. Destroy or launch the technology? You have the vision to know it is going to harm. So will you destroy it? Show of hands. Others are undecided, is it? Launch. You only have binary response. How many of you launch? Still launch it in spite of killing so many people. Huh? Knowing pretty well it's going to. Okay. So what is this technology I'm talking of? What is this technology that I'm talking of? Automobile. The automobile has singularly been responsible for more deaths than all the plagues, all the world wars, all famines, all floods combined, whatever you combine it, the number of people died of automobile accidents is much more. Nobody talks about it because we see the advantage that the automobile gives much more. So any technology, any transformative experience that you have, you will have this dilemma. People will always, there'll be always naysay, they'll be pulling you back. You know what will happen. People are going to lose jobs, right? Digital transformation is going to make people lose jobs. People have been losing jobs, but people did not die. The world population has only been increasing, all right, because they acquired different skills. So technology is something, it's good that we are aware that of the pitfalls of technology, of the transformative experience that we are going to do. But it is not something that should prevent you or push you back. In fact, it should make you move even more. With that, I'll conclude the session and much more slides. Thank you so much. I hope it's been a session that you could think about. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation, sir. I welcome the moderator of this session, Mr. Seduraman, YI Dindakal member, Managing Director, Abhirami Agencies.
Good morning, everyone. It's my absolute pleasure to be with you and facilitate the interactions and discussions with you throughout the session. So first of all, thank you so much, Mr. Nitin, for an insightful and impactful speech on the digital transformation. You perfectly highlighted the immense impact and the significance of embracing the technology in today's rapidly changing world. So to begin with, the first question as an entrepreneur, so whenever we think about the digital transformation, right, considering a small businesses, so small businesses typically resist the significant changes. So how do you involve the employees and the stakeholders of a business when we start this digital transformation journey?
I think they're turned off. Okay, I'm audible. So there are two parts to the question, Mr. Sedhuram. One is you said the business is the owners and the employees. They are two different things. All right. In my experience, in my personal experience, I could be wrong. The employees sometimes are sold to the idea of digital transformation because it makes their life easy. It is the owners of the organization which are a little steadfast and want to try to hold back and put spokes in the progress. So what I always feel is when you want to do some kind of digital transformation as a consultant, when I move to an organization, firstly you'll have to get a complete kind of agreement of them, a complete selling the idea. They should be involved in the entire process, all right, and then a very clear-cut value proposition. When you say if you do this it will be great, if you do this it will be great. Great is a very it will be super, and great is very strange and useless words. If you do this, 13 to 17% increase in your profitability. If you do this, there's going to be 30% higher retention of your employees. If you do this, we'll have to talk in numbers to the organization. Now you spoke about the employees, the middle management or somebody, if they are not getting sold to the idea of them. Again, you'll have to involve them in the process, you'll have to speak to them, and you'll have to tell them that the objective of the transformation, all right, one of the biggest fear, I just spoke about losing jobs, one of the biggest fear of people working, and you tell him that we are thinking of having a dark factory. He will not be concerned about the people losing their job, he'll be concerned about he as a supervisor losing his job. So what we need to involve them is, while your roles is going to become, this specific role is going to become different, but you will be involved in some better activities, some more improvements in the organization. That's the selling point that I generally try to do when I want to sell the idea of digital transformation.
All right. So you have successfully led so many digital transformation projects, right? So can you shed us some light on how you exactly strategize or steps you take to start off the digital transformation journey before even thinking of any technology or what app or what tool we are going to choose? So how do you determine the areas where we should focus on the real transformation well ahead?
Okay, so for me, I was very lucky. When I say I was very lucky, the organizations who wanted digital transformation were a clean slate. எனக்கு எதுவும் தெரியாதுப்பா இதான் digital transformation சொல்றீங்க ஏதாவது பண்ணுங்கப்பா. They did not have an agenda, they did not have a mandate that I want this to be done, they gave it to us. Therefore, it was my choice to give them the digital transformation, where to start off. So the first thing that I used to do in the industries where we do the transformation is do a gap study. 1 or 2 days, I mentioned it in my this thing, 1 or 2 days of interacting with the employees, interacting with the management, trying to understand and trying to get various inputs, and then finally a series of questionnaire. We have something called as DTAS, Digital Transformation Assessment, on our platform. So we try to ask them some series of questions and identify what is that one thing that prevents them from sleeping, right? And we try to address that particular aspect. The gap study that is done by, for instance, operational excellence, Lean Six Sigma, simple things like digitization. When I say digitization, is your website, do you even have a website? Are you still using Microsoft Excel, or are you using a cloud-based application? Step by step. And another thing that always see is the short burst projects, rather than somebody telling me, sir, I will do ERP. And one of the reasons why ERP, specifically SAP, sorry if anybody has that, has failed in our country miserably, it should have been much more, is simple because it has a very long cycle. 3 years, 2 years it will take before you can start getting the benefits. And the people working on that get so fed up. People retire from their organizations. So what we did was, we limited it to 3 months. I'll show you results in 3 months. I'll take up one project in your organization. I'll show you results in 3 months. Once you are happy, then we'll look into another 3-month project, small sprints. So trying to be agile in those ways. So that is what is I sell them before I try to do the digital transformation, and then do the implementation.
That was a good one, like being agile, that's more important, right? So I always have this doubt in my mind. Okay, so recently in my business, like we migrated our order management system digitally, right? But I always have this kind of a question whether the customer is really happy about it or not. So we have moved digitally, but whether the customer is really happy about it or not, right? So how do you measure that impact or success? Is there any metrics or indicators do you use to see whether we are going in the right direction?
Okay, customer part I'll answer in just a moment. With reference to indicators of digital transformation, I'll let me answer. We have this, we have primarily the country today, MSMEs are 2 kinds of businesses, owner driven, process driven. So, Avaneda Raja, Avaneda Mantri, that's the owner decides everything, all right? You may be 5 crores, you may be 20 crores, everything the owner has to take care of it. Now, if that is an organization, that is a typical or that is an ideal candidate for digital transformation, digitization and transformation, multiple things, so that the owner can take a step back and probably look at processes. If it is a process-driven organization, you can try to improve those processes, existing processes. For me, a very simple metric is the owner should come back after 3 months and say, I used to break my head for this. Now this one thing, thanks to you, I don't really have to bother about it. I'll give you an example. I've done one transformation study that Tirupur industrial thing. I gave them very simple examples about employee, because Tirupur has a floating population of workers, the tailors and all that. They'll work here, they'll work there. All right. So I started have a reward, how to reward them. So every day I said, take a report from your supervisor. How many tailors have made how many defects? If there are no defects, 0. In the stitching, if suppose for a pocket stitch you have to give 29 or 30 stitches, right? They counted. That's the level of which they have. So if it is not done, it is recorded. So everybody, note pandreenga, sir on the report kettirukkaru. He has not done anything with the report, but the very fact that a report is going has made productivity better, right? Now what he told me the next meeting was, that one aspect I am now relaxed. Can you tell me something else? So for me, a metric is the owner comes back and says, I have a lot of free time thanks to the digital transformation processes, is the biggest metric. Sorry for a slightly roundabout answer. Coming back to the second part of the question with reference to customers. Now, if you're doing a digital transformation and if your customer is receiving their products or services at the same time and same quality, something is fundamentally wrong with your digital transformation. If I deliver, if I'm manufacturer of a particular product X, or if I'm manufacturing, let us say, hangers, all right. If I'm making hangers and if I'm delivering or a product that customer wants, if I'm delivering X quantity in 20 days, my digital transformation should make X quantity in 15 days or 10 days. Which means my customer should be delighted out of no reason. You fellows, I gave the order, I was expecting after 10 days, today itself the delivery has come. What did you do? Sir, we are doing digital transformation. You involve your customer with your success stories for them. Once you've involved, because we did digital transformation, because we have now made things open, we have made transparent, we have shop level control, etc., you are seeing the benefits. Because of these benefits, I request you also to kindly try to have an open scheme. When you have a PO, make it clear so that you can give me the PO, let me not be any addendum or amendments, etc. So then you can demand from your customer with reference to, or more than demand, involve them through your digital transformation journey. That is the way I look at it.
Oh, very well put, Mr. Nitin. Thank you for that. So we are entering into, so we are currently in a digital era where things are happening very rapidly, right? So there are like so many new technology, advanced technologies like AI, big data, all are being infused, right? So what, in your opinion, how we should be very agile, and like how can we be adaptable to this rapid changes? Even we go digitally, in 10 years there might be something else coming in, some new technology coming in. So can you share us, can you like from your experience, like can you shed some light on how we can be quickly adaptable or reskill or upskill ourselves?
If you are going to look at some new technology coming in and then adapting, you're already late. The disruption that I was talking of and the statement I made, the current process is the worst possible way you can do your operations. You will have to do that every single day. The technology should not dictate your changes. You should dictate the technology. All right? When SAP comes to you or when CRM comes to you and you say this is what it is, within 3 months, your organization should use it to such a level, you know what, your software is not really good. I do this, but I'm stuck here. It is not having an innovation for that. You as an organization should be pushing for changes in the technology rather than technology forcing it on you. The example of ChatGPT that I mentioned, it is not because of ChatGPT, people have already started. Now ChatGPT, getting the answer itself, something better, it's a much glorified version of Wikipedia. Yes or no, at least for the engineering college students. We all survive, I mean not we, you people or your seniors, etc. survived on Wikipedia. I am from the non-internet era, right? Library, reading physical books, Xeroxing them and writing the notes was my era, no internet. So it's a glorified version of Wikipedia. The people using ChatGPT have given feedback. But this is lacking, this is lacking. They are demanding the changes. So same thing, a proactive approach rather than a reactive approach. So if you're going to say how to change, no, I am changing, is the technology available to that? That is the mindset that I'm looking at.
All right. Okay, and so we are going into everything as a digital one, right? Like everything is getting automated today. So as you said, like I think you have covered in that speech as well, like nothing will be like, no workforce will be affected or something like that. Right, so but like in digital world, like people code, like engineers code and create softwares and do automation. So even now ChatGPT has come up with the coding as well. Even the IT software professionals is also in a risk position, right? What do you think, how this digital transformation might affect the workforce?
Thank you so much for asking this question, because this is a question that I believe many of you have thought of, and I'll take a slightly longer time for this. How many of you know how to drill a hole in the bull's nose to put a rope? For a bull, you need to put a rope to, yes or no, through the nose that they put a hole, use a hot knife or something. Do you even know that they do that? How many of you know how to do it? How many of you know how to do it? Okay, at least one person is there. How many of you know, while pulling water from the well, that you must let the pot fall with a bang so that the top dust moves away, and you keep pulling it back and forth, not letting the water enter into the pot, and then fill the water. How many of you have been taught that? Why the others don't know this? Now, we are in 2023. Imagine 1923. Whatever question I asked, I am sure all of you would raise your hands, because that was an essential skill in 1923.
Yeah.
What is the population of 1923? You can Google. What is the population of 2023? Has it become less? All those people who used to drill holes in the nose of the cows, all those people who used to pull water, have they died? The number of people have only grown. What has happened? We have acquired new skills. You understand the analogy where I am coming from? You are looking at the future standing where you are. I want you to move away from that particular ground when you're looking at the future. I have learned coding. What will I do when there is no coding? What is the purpose that we are trying to achieve here? All right, the purpose. What is coding for? It is to solve a problem. All right. The advanced people are looking at it. Okay, how to solve the problem? How to have a software created? So, how to create a software? Make it easier and easier. Make it so easy that there is no human required. Right? You don't need drivers, because we have driverless cars. Does it mean that the driver as a skill? We don't need the skill of a driver in 30, 40 years from now, do we? Why do we need? Right? The same way we don't need a person to be having, all children born to farmers should have the skill of being able to, or putting the shoe to the bull. So, the question, what will they do? They will not do coding, yes. But that doesn't mean you will not do something else. Am I answering the question? I do not know. I can always hide behind the age of I'm so old, I really don't know about the future. But if you look at the past and how things have moved, I'll give you one more example. When calculators were introduced in schools, maths teachers went on strike telling that they would lose their jobs. Don't you find it absurd today? Maths teachers still have their job. They tell how to use a scientific calculator. You understand where I'm going with this? Right? So I'm sorry I'm not answering your question and answering your question.
Yeah. All right. So I think I'm pretty much good. Let me open to the floor for any questions. Please feel free to ask any queries, guys. Any questions? Please raise your hand.
Yeah, be a little loud. I'll repeat your question, no problem.
No, if I as an entrepreneur want to get into digital transformation, what are the key areas that I should focus on or at least the top 4?
Okay, so firstly, I would want you to forget about digital part of the transformation. Just look at the transformation. All right. Now, what is the kind of business are you in? Are you in kind of a trading business or a manufacturing business? Things will vary. Primarily a digital presence. All right. With reference to not just a static website, but a website, SEO. Even if you are having limited customers, it is always better. You never know. Have a website, have an SEO in place, have brand building, have digital marketing, all those things placed to enhance your brand visibility. That is one particular area. Now, if you are into the trading, all right, and if you are a regional player, try to explore with reference to supply chain, try to explain transformation with reference to the national level, all right, and eventually the international level. I buy from some local vendor, I go 100 kilometers away in my truck, pick up some raw material, come and put it in my shop, and the people within Dindigal or Madurai, up to that people. Why not beyond it? How can I go? E-com. All right, look at it that way. Now, before getting into all those details, you will have to have an organization existing in a particular way. So primarily what you need to do is do a gap study. I have set up an industry, I am operating the industry at a particular way. This is what I have done, I have seeded it. Do a gap study, try to find out digital gap study, operational excellence gap study, HRM processes gap study, the fundamentals, all right. You do those gap studies, identify where you can probably start, and then almost always start with the simplest digital transformation initiative to get that gratification that, you know what, I did this, I got the benefit, let me pick up next. Like doing a homework in mathematics, right? If you have 10 questions and 3 of them are easy, you finished your 3 questions, which means 30% of the homework is done. Those 3 questions are the easiest one, but that's how you take it up. You feel happy to do the next one. That's my take.
Any other questions? There's one hand over there. The last
There at
one.
the end.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm B. Yogashri from NPR College. I want to know that if, as a student, we just search the answers that we are needed on ChatGPT, Google, or somewhat. I want to know, is this knowledge is enough for us to compete in this world? That growing entrepreneurship was high, we should have more and more knowledge about it. But when we search in ChatGPT, we get a certain answer that what we need. If we touch some other physical books or search or discuss with friends, we get some more knowledge about the topic. So I want to know whether it is enough for this competitive world.
Interesting question. My answer is exactly the same that I've been telling from the beginning. Why are you even searching for answers? A very radical answer, but why are you even searching for answers? Albert Einstein, when he was a child, he said this to his teachers. Why do I have to memorize? Why can't I refer the book? If ChatGPT has the answers, whenever you need the answers in whatever job you're doing, open ChatGPT and give it. You understand where I'm going with this? Why do you need to learn? Your resume should say, I can give you all the answers that you have in ChatGPT. I worked with it for 300 hours. Rather than, I know this. Why? Why tax your brain with that?
Any other question? All right. So thank you so much, Mr. Nitin, for an enlightening speech. I'm sure this would be really an eye-opener. Okay, we have one more question. Sorry.
So hi, sir. So I just see that the chat, sorry, the AI using in a drone that kills a human. So what message you're trying to say to us by showing that?
So what I'm trying to tell you is that every technology has the capability, all right, for falling in the wrong hands. The simple example of the car, all right, I used the drone example, and then I immediately went to the example of the automobile. So automobile is a technology that has been responsible for maximum number of deaths, but nobody talks about it because imagine if there were no automobiles, how would we would still be in bullock carts? The amount of development, the advancement, everything is related to the automobile, right? Transportation of goods, etc. Therefore, even if there are technologies that will fall in the wrong hands, which will be available to the wrong people and can be misused, always look at the advantages that it has to show you. It will always be there. And the good thing of awareness is that if you know this can fall in the wrong hands, you can make it better. You don't have to wait for accidents to happen to put a seat belt. You don't have to wait for accidents to put a airbag. You understand? Let us do it right away because we are able to foresee. That is how the smart thinking should be. If a technology can have these pitfalls, let us think forward and try to do it. That is what is the point I'm trying to make. Don't hate the technology. Try to go around it or try to fix whatever possible problems are.
Thank you, sir.
You can all Google and it's on YouTube, the attack of the slaughter bots. I want you to watch the entire video. It's about an 8-minute long video, you can watch it.
Sir, I have one question about digital transformation. Sir, can you tell me the critical factor that organization need to consider the embarking on successful digital transformation journey?
Organization is a very big word. All right, my experience is for the last right from 2002 till today is in MSME. I've never worked in a very big corporate. All right, MSMEs are generally very close-knit, owner-driven or 2 partners, 3 partner-driven organization. So for me, when you say organization, it is those 3 people. What is most critical for these 3 people or the owners or the leadership team of an organization for the success of digital transformation is their willingness to let the digital transformation try and fail for a finite period of time, rather than shutting it down. Ye sab band karo, close this, enough, you people. Many organizations, youngsters join their father's business. Daddy, I'll do this, we will start this and all that. Okay, young fellow, young blood, let him do. Even the father will let him do it for 2-3 months. Enough, let us go back to everything you are doing, it is failing. They should be one willing to, you have to give a clear time, 3 months, 6 months, etc. That is, once you are able to, do that. And what I basically say is, every industry is separate in their style of operation. All right, somebody would have a much better HRM process. I'll work in this company because I love the owner. The owner treats us like family. He will hug me, all workers, he will call him Ayya and things like that. Therefore, that company, I cannot go and sell, I will give you an HRM process. I don't need an HRM process for that organization. You understand? But another organization may require some kind of an HRM process because they don't have that kind of a culture. So every organization is different. Identify a project which is a short burst project, typically 1 to 3 months. Within that 1 to 3 months, identify a project somewhere where I can do a transformation and move to the next level. That is what I would say. Kind of answered your question? No?
Sir, मेरा एक भी क्वेश्चन था सर, अगर वो एक पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम का हम खोज लेते, क्या उस जर्नी में हम सक्सेसफुल हो सकते हैं?
बिल्कुल,
हो सकते हैं.
Definitely.
Okay,
See, it is a proven technology. It is not theory. The dark factory is theory. What I told about. What I'm talking of digital transformation is a proven technology. It exists. It has been done. We have had successes in doing those transformations. You may say, I'll give 40%, some number, right? Your absenteeism will be reduced by 50%. If not 50%, 30%, okay, but some improvement.
Thank you.
Right?
Thanks, sir.
Sir, I'm Savio from EEE department first year. So what would be the maximum scaling that we can do through digital marketing, digital transformation?
Can you elaborate on the question? When you say maximum scaling in terms of percentage of revenue?
Now I'm starting, yes sir, in revenue. I'm starting a business right now.
Okay.
And I like to do some scaling through digital transformation.
See,
so what would be the expected?
There are multiple metrics available. All right, there are multiple metrics available. Total available market, TAM. Now, if I am looking, if let us say, if you look at OYO, example, the total available market is all the hotels in the world. It cannot be beyond that. If I expect to go beyond that, it's foolhardy. All right. Now, ideally, OYO should take over the. What is the vision of OYO? Right. All the hotels in all the areas of our country is OYO hotel. That is the benchmark. So you will have to identify the TAM, the total available market of your business. That is the highest level you can go. And then you work back. How you are going to increase? Now, depending on your limitations, if you are a region specific, entire Dindigal should use my services. Right? If you're a service provider, let us say you are a car cleaning service provider, entire Dindigal should use my services. Once that is done, I'll move further, I'll move to this. That is, you look at your TAM and then keep growing according to it.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
So I think we are running out of time. Thank you so much, Mr. Nitin. I'm so happy to. The most surprising part is many questions came from the students regarding the entrepreneurship. Like, that's the success of this. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it a lot.
That was indeed an informative session. As a sign of gratitude, we would like to present a memento to the panelists. I call upon Mr. Sugumar, Managing Director, Top Arnold Foods Private Limited, to present the memento.
அது வந்து அது அடிக்குதுன்னு சொல்லி I thought I'll stand here. Oh. Oh. So it's pretty significant, no? Unlocking the secrets, unlocking all the secrets of business. Nice, thank you. Yeah, sure.
It's now time for rewarding the best questions of the session. I request our panelist, Mr. Nitin Mishra, to reward Sabji Kumar, EEE PSMA. Sibji Kumar, sorry.
What happened? He asked the question and went away, is it? He is here. Oh, you are the... Good. Nice. Asking brilliant questions is good. Taking the answers and moving forward is more important for everybody. One more, sorry.
I would like to call upon Ms. Yogashri, NPR College.
உங்கள் கேள்விக்கு படிக்க வேணான்னு சொல்லலை நான் அது பண்ணி வந்து படிக்கிறதே நிறுத்தின்னு சார் சொன்னால் சொல்லாதீங்க. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's time for the next panel discussion. I welcome Ms. Kritika Shivakumar, Executive Director, the Indian Public School and Managing Trustee, Aram Charity Trust. I request Mr. Sanjay, Yuva student, PSNA College, to introduce the panelist.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sanjay, student co-chair UA, PSNA CET. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. I am profoundly delighted to introduce the chief guest, Ms. Kritika Shivakumar, Executive Director, the Indian Public School Managing Trustee, Aram Charity Trust. Ms. Kritika Shivakumar is a distinguished scholar who has pursued her education with unwavering dedication and an insatiable thirst for knowledge. She earned her undergraduate degree from Satyabama University, where she excelled in her chosen field of study, laying a solid foundation for her future endeavors. Continuing her quest for excellence, our chief guest pursued advanced studies and obtained her master's degree from GRG School of Management Studies, and she completed philosophy of education in University of Edinburgh, UK. Education is knowledge imbued with wisdom and ethics, is the belief of Ms. Kritika Shivakumar, the Executive Director of the Indian Public Group of Schools. Curriculum and instructional design, teacher training, academic administration, team building, and strategic management are the feathers on her cap. As a leader, she inspires students, teachers, parents, and the community both professionally and personally. As a testimony for her woman entrepreneurial success, she was elected as the convener for the Indian Women Network IWN of E-Road chapter during the year 2021 to 2022. Her dedication and remarkable services in IWN E-Road chapter has upscaled her to be recently elected as the Vice Chairwoman of CII IWN Tamil Nadu. Ms. Kritika Shivakumar is the Executive Director of CK Medical Center Hospital, which is renowned for its medical services and is since decades in E-Road. It's our honor to have you here, ma'am. We wish to hear from you, ma'am.
I welcome Ms. Personalaized, Partner and COO, Pave Infra Geotech. I request Ms. Madhumita, Yuva student, PSNA College, to introduce the panelist.
A very good afternoon to the gathering. It's my distinct pleasure and privilege today to introduce to you a remarkable individual whose entrepreneurial spirit and unwavering dedication have shaped the success story of Pavai. We extend a warm welcome to Ms. Personalaized, the co-founder of Pavai. She is a Vedika scholar from class of 2016. Her determination infused with a youthful cheer makes one believe that no feat is unachievable. She is currently living her dream of being a successful entrepreneur. She co-founded Pavai Infra Geotech, one of India's fastest growing infrastructure companies that works with the central government's defense, railways, and highways ministries. Her mission is to create a community of women builders by focusing on people, culture, and digital transformation. In just 5 years of leadership, the previously resource-constrained company has been doubling in revenues year on year. She's creating a new industry benchmarks and breaking norms, creating a new path for women in the construction industry. Recently, she secured a major defense contract to strengthen the India-China border. Pavai, a brand existing since 1976, is now a leading provider of innovative geotechnical solutions. Pavai Infra Geotech offers world-class design, sourcing, and execution services for infrastructure projects of any size. Beyond being an entrepreneur, she's a Bharatanatyam dancer and has the habit to read on politics, economics, and cultures. Thank you.
I welcome the moderator of this session, Ms. Priyadarshini, Entrepreneurship Co-Chair, YI Dindakal, Co-Founder, Adya Coffee.
Privilege to be here with everyone here today. Thank you. So here we have with us Ms. Kritika, the CEO Director of the Indian Public School, and Ms. Ragini, the CEO and Pavai Infratech. They're here to shed more light on the topic of future workspaces and innovation, meaningful innovations. So I'd like you to start off with your businesses, like just to set the stage.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction as well. It seems like the stage is on, set, and the light is off in the theater to watch a movie, kind of. I know what kind of fun the backbenchers will definitely be having amidst all this. So today, now we are going to have a session that will talk about our journey. And from morning, this dais was filled with all male entrepreneurs. And good that we have female entrepreneurs here sitting to set the stage. At the outset, I would like to thank the team YA Dindukal for giving me the opportunity to be here, and I know how difficult it is to organize and execute a program like this. So hats off to you people, and I heard that this is the second year for you, and I wish many more years and success for you guys. To start with, TIPS, the brand, Indian Public School, அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு brand வந்து it established in the year 2004 by a doctor couple, Dr. Chinnaswamy and Dr. Saraswati. They are my in-laws, father-in-law and mother-in-law. Successfully 35 years of experience in their profession of CK Medical Center and hospitals. இந்த டிப்ஸுங்கிற பிராண்ட் வரும்போது என் ஃபாதர்-இன்-லாக்கு வயசு 66. ஸோ ரிட்டையர்மெண்ட் ஏஜில் ஒரு ட்ரீம் கம் ட்ரூ பிராண்ட் எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ் பண்ணார் அப்படின்னு கேட்டிங்கன்னா the inspiration for me started from then on. Initially, it was started in Erode, which is our native, with 400 odd children. CBSE was first and foremost of that kind in a two-tier city like Erode, where all the other schools were matriculation, and pakatla districts la edliyume vandu we did not have CBSE. People have heard about the CBSE curriculum and the board, but definitely they haven't experienced one such schools. So he was taking that risk. People have definitely put him down, telling that, no, you have earned so much. Why do you want to take this risk? Why do you want to invest on schools? On a service sector, you've already been in a service sector, serving people, and again you choose to serve people. Why is that so? Don't do that. There were a lot of put-downs, obviously. But then he did not lend his ears to anything else. He always believed in his dreams, and that is why, and that is how today TIPS is a brand. We have 16 branches in Tamil Nadu and nearby states as well. So talking more about how the management works, because today when I am in Dindukal, people started complimenting me for the Dindukal branch, and also they had few concerns. So how do we operate? And this is not a franchising model anyway. So it is run by my husband and my husband's brother-in-law. So the management is the same family, but we don't involve in the managements where we branch out or where he branches out. So that is how we operate. So to give more details about the CBSE curriculum, the first year, as I told, 480 children vandutanga. Second year, again, 1,000. Third year, 1,500. Fourth year, 2,000. Then 2,200, and that's the limit. Within 5 years of span, the rapid increase in the admissions told us, okay, in 5 years of time, we have reached to the end of the limitations of the seats. And after that, what is in it for us after that? And that is when we completed our masters in the UK and we came back, me and my husband. And I have the privilege of being the executive director just because I've married into the family. And this responsibility was given to me not so easily. I've really went hard, because to me, how I've set the stage, how I am in the stage was not easy. My father, an illiterate. My mother, again, she got married when she was doing BSc mathematics. And I was brought up in a very, very rural background. Rural background in the sense, எங்கள் வீட்டுக்கும் அடுத்த வீட்டுக்கும் நடந்து போகணுன்னாலே ஒரு 2-3 minutes நடந்து போனால் தான் நான் பக்கத்து வீட்டையே பார்க்க முடியும். It was totally a village setup. So 23 years of my life, I just lived in the village culture, knowing the ins and outs of how the system runs and works in the agricultural field. But my father is a businessman. He never has, he always had given me so much more than what I wanted. The first experience of me getting into the city was when I had my undergraduate degree from Chennai. And all this definitely plays a major role in taking up this role and move forward in my career. So when the opportunity was given as, will you be able to take or run the show as an executive director, I said I need an internship. So that rigorous 6 months of internship in one of the campuses in the TIPS gave me the strength and courage that I will be able to do no matter what. Nobody can put me down unless and until I decide on myself. And that was the confidence I had on my shoulders. And in 2011, what is in it for the stakeholders again? After, okay, CBSE established Paniyachu, 2,200 children படிக்கிறாங்க already. அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன கொடுக்க போறோம் for the society, for the stakeholders who was asking for the international curriculum. Indian curriculum always, it's doing wonders. So that is when we decided why not IB and IGCSE curriculum in a road. I always had this passion towards getting into the open house அப்படின்னு ஒரு கான்செப்ட் இருக்குது யூகேல இருக்கும்போது. Any school, they wanted to run the academic year. Before that, they will be having this concept called open house. உள்ள போய் என்ன ப்ரோக்ராம் பண்ணுறாங்க, எப்படி பண்ணுறாங்க, என்னென்ன ஃபெசிலிட்டிஸ் இருக்குது, how do the children learn, how do they exhibit, இது எல்லாத்தையுமே நீங்கள் தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாம். So I'll be the first person to move in. Back then I did not have children, but then the curiosity and knowing that coming back to India, I have this larger scale of taking the opportunity to getting into management. I always had this in my mind, so I'll be the first person to be there in the open house day and understand why it is important to have international curriculum in our country, in our cities. That is when in 2011, we believed that IB and IGCSE is very essential. என்ன டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் அப்படின்னு கேட்பாங்க நிறையா பேர். சிபிஎஸ்சி இருக்குது, போர்டு இருக்குது, ஐபி போர்டு இருக்குது, ஐஜிசிஎஸ்சி போர்டு இருக்குது, எல்லாமே எஜுகேஷன் தானே. எஸ், ஐ அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் தி லேர்னிங் அவுட்கம்ஸ். ஒரு குழந்தை வந்து ஃபஸ்ட் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் படிக்குது, செகண்ட் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் படிக்குது அப்படின்னா ஃபஸ்ட் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் முடிக்கும் போது அந்த குழந்தைக்கு என்ன தெரியணுமோ அந்த லிமிட்ஸில் தான் எல்லா போர்ட்ஸ்லேயும் தெரியும். பட் வாட் தே லேர்னுங்கிறத விட ஹவு தே லேர்ன் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டண்ட். So student-centric, yeah, CBSE, I take care of the CBSE boards back in A-Road, but then I can see the vast difference between the CBSE, the IB, and the IGCSE boards. I would definitely say that CBSE is student-centric. No, it is teacher-centric, basically. And then rapidly there is a collaboration and activity, and then move on to student-centric. But in IB boards, but in Cambridge boards, it is more of student-centric, where the teachers will be like facilitators. And how do we learn in IB is through inquiry basis. நம்ம இவ்வளோ நேரம் பேசிட்டு இருந்தோம் இந்த டிஜிட்டல் ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபர்மேஷனுக்கு என்ன தேவை, ஸ்கில் செட்ஸ் தேவை அப்படின்னா அதை எப்படி டெவலப் பண்ணிக்கலாம், என்னென்ன ஸ்கில்ஸ் ரெக்வயர்ட் ஃபார் a child after being available or after attending school for 15 years of their life. ஒரு ஸ்கூல்லேருந்து வெளியில் போகிறாங்கன்னா என்னென்ன ஸ்கில் செட்ஸ் தேவை, என்னென்ன சேலஞ்சஸை ஃபேஸ் பண்ணணும் இந்த வேர்ல்டுக்கு, கம்யூனிகேஷன் ஸ்கில்ஸ் ஆர் கொலாபரேட்டிவ் ஸ்கில்ஸ் ஆர் டீம் பில்டிங் ஸ்கில்ஸ் ஆர் டெசிஷன் மேக்கிங் ஸ்கில்ஸ், ஆல் that is developed rapidly in the international curriculum. So we focus both in Indian curriculum and international curriculum because the needs of the stakeholders are in such a way that LKGயில் போடும் போதே என் பையன் நீட் போயிடுவானா, என் பையன் ஐஐடியில் ஜாயின் பண்ணிடுவானான்னு கேட்குற பேரண்ட்ஸ் இன்னும் இருக்காங்க. ஐபிஎன் இன்டர்நேஷ்னல் போர்ட்ஸில் வர பேரண்ட்ஸ் எனக்கு இந்தியன் கரிக்குலம், இந்தியன் யூனிவர்சிட்டிஸ் வேண்டாம், எனக்கு அப்ராட் தான் வேணும், என் பையனை அங்கே தான் அனுப்பணும், ஒரு ஆண்டர்ப்ரனர் ஆகணும், இல்லை ஹேஸ் டு ஸ்டாண்ட் ஆன் இஸ் ஓன் அப்படின்னு வர பேரண்ட்ஸும் இருக்காங்க. ஸோ we try to cater the needs of both Indian and international standards right now. And together, all the campuses சேர்த்து we have around 15,000 children. And we manage 5,500 odd children in campuses like E-Road, Salem, Trichy, and Nellai. All the other campuses that I was talking about is managed by Mr. Ashok. He's the brother-in-law of the family anyway. Yeah. I think I just set what tips and how it emerged and how we operate.
Yeah, lovely.